So continuing on to where we left off in our last video, we were trying to figure out where the hidden lines go in this side view based on this gigantic hole in our basic circle shape here. And you might be able to figure out, it might be obvious to you where to draw in this example just by doing a little bit of math. But how do we do it with our construction lines? So for example, there are construction lines between our top and our front view representing our width. And there are construction lines between our side view and our front view representing our height from bottom to top. But what about our depth in between our top and our side view? Our side view has a depth from left to right, whereas our top view has a depth from bottom to top. If you look right here, this is the front of our shape, and this is the back of our shape, whereas from our side view, this is the front, and the back is over here. And so how do we connect those? And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually extend up my construction lines like I've been doing, but I'm going to go from the front of my side view and extend up. And then I'm going to go from the front of my top view and extend out. And that intersection right there, that intersection of my two fronts becomes the front of what I'm going to call our mirror. It's going to reflect our construction lines downward. And so then I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to extend out a construction line from the back of our side view, and then extend out our construction line from the back of the top view. And this intersection will represent the back of our mirror. And so I'm going to mark the intersecting fronts and the intersecting backs, and then I'm going to connect those two dots to sketch out our mirror. And so what's going on? Well, if we look at our picture, if we look at our construction line, what happens is when it strikes our mirror, it reflects downward. And likewise, the front goes into our mirror and reflects towards the front of our top view. And what we can do is we can actually use this to help us find the front and the back of our circle. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the front of our circle and sketch a construction line into our mirror. And when it hits the mirror, I'm going to reflect it downward. And so now we have a construction line representing the edge that we cannot see, the front of this gigantic hole in our shape. And we can do the same thing for the back. We can extend this out all the way to the edge of our mirror, and then we can extend it downward by reflecting it through our mirror. And so now we've sketched out the front and the back of this hole via construction lines. And now again, I know that there are hidden lines. There's something I cannot see. And now I know where the edges of that circle would be. And so if you look here at this circle, when I look at the front, there is a hole behind this. And what is it? Well, from the sides, we can see the left and the right. It would just look like straight lines to us. It would just be these straight edges, which we will sketch as hidden lines. There's something we cannot see from this view, but they are there, and they are the edges of this cylindrical hole. And actually, we can draw mirrors for any multi-view, so we can go back to our previous examples, and we can sketch a mirror for these as well. We can reflect our depth, and so I'll go to the front of this side view and draw a construction line up. And I will draw a construction line out from the front of our top view. And that intersection will be the front of our mirror. And then I will go and reflect the back of our side view and extend out the back of our top view. And then that intersection will represent the back of our mirror. And anytime you draw a mirror, you should have a perfect square because it represents the depth from the side view, which is 5, and it represents the depth of our top view, which is 5, and so it should be a 5 by 5 square. In this case, it represented the depth of our side view, which was 6, and the depth of our top view, which was also 6, so this made a 6 by 6 square. And so if you don't have a perfect square for your mirror, you know you did something wrong in your multi-view. But now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and connect the front and back of my mirror. And then I'm going to extend this sort of center depth into my mirror using a construction line. And when you watch it reflect through the mirror, when it hits the mirror, you turn it sideways or you turn it down, depending on which way you're starting from, you'll notice that it hits the edge that it represents. And so what do I mean? Well, this edge right here is this edge in my isometric view. It is this edge right here. Well, that edge is also this edge right here. They are the same edge, which is why they meet up within our mirror. And so let's go ahead and add mirrors to our original two shapes as well, just to get some extra practice in and make sure that we did them correctly. We can extend up the construction line of our side view, the front of our side view, and the back of our side view. And then we can draw the back of our top view and the front of our top view. Then we can connect the front and the back of our mirror. And then we can find this sort of middle depth here. So if we got from front to back, and I'm sorry if you couldn't see all that, but we got from front to back, and then we have this middle depth here. We can extend that into our mirror as well, and then we extend it out to the left. And you'll notice again that these lines line up because of course they do, because they represent the same depth. And so from here, that is this edge right here, and you'll notice that it lines up with this edge, which is this edge right here. And since they meet up in our depth of our isometric view, of course they're going to meet up in our depth of our construction lines through our mirror in our orthographic view. And then let's go ahead and add one more mirror to that first shape that we drew in the very beginning. We can extend out the front and the back of our side view, and we can extend out the front and the back of our top view. And again, it should make a perfect square. In this case, the depth is 3 and 3, and so the square should be a 3 by 3 square, just like this was 4 and 4. That's why it made a 4 by 4 square. If your mirror is not a perfect square, you know you did something wrong in your sketch. And actually, this shape doesn't have a middle depth to drive through our mirror, but we'll go ahead and add the mirror anyway because it is good practice. And if you're thinking to yourself, what's the point of the mirror? I could have just done the math in my head. Hopefully the next few videos will help you understand why the mirror is so important and why it's so helpful when we are sketching multi-views.